A very good morning and warm welcome to you, dear students, to your history class. Today we'll be studying chapter 5, Social and Religious Reforms, part 1. In this lesson, you will see different social customs, traditions that were prevalent in India previously. Also, you will learn the religious reforms that some important thinkers brought up after knowing that the customs that were being followed were actually superstitious beliefs. Now look at these two pictures, children. Now in this picture you are seeing this first picture. You are seeing a man is died here, and some people are performing, the pandits and all, and people are performing rites, funeral rites for his wife. And this is the fire. This is called the fire. Now secondly, in the second pic you can see a child is marrying another child. That is child marriage happening. Is it right? Why is it happening so? Let us find out, shall we? Now we'll do an activity, children, on superstitions. Okay? Do you know any superstitions, students? You all must be knowing about certain superstitions. Type it out and tell me down below. Okay? Now some of the superstitions which I can tell you is, you all have heard of the black cat and cats in general. When you cross the road, if the black cat crosses the road, it's bad luck. You have heard about it. Then dogs and owls howling in the night means it signals a death. A crow which is cawing at your window means a guest is sure to arrive that day. Then another one is, don't cut your hair on Thursdays. Don't cut your nails at night. Going out during a lunar eclipse brings about madness. Yeah. These are all superstitions. Never pick up lemon, chili, garlic totems if you find them. Plus, do not stamp on them. It is all about black magic. Here you can see this voodoo doll. This voodoo black magic happening. This is also superstitious belief. Another one, people trees. People trees harbor witches at night. Then glass breaking. When the glass breaks in the house, it's, some say good luck, some say bad luck. When the mirror breaks especially. Here you can see here. So there are many superstitious beliefs. I want you to write some of them which you know, and then let's go ahead. Now as you have seen and done the activity, children, you know that these are superstitious beliefs. Aren't they? They are all superstitious beliefs. Therefore, the social reformers wanted to change this thinking of the people during that times through their revolutionary ideas. We will now listen to the first part of the explanation of this lesson. In this first part, you will learn about introduction, Brahmo Samaj, Pratna Samaj, Satya Shodak Samaj, Arya Samaj, and Ramakrishna Mission.
The name of the chapter is Social and Religious Reforms. So, let us start. Students, in the previous chapter, we saw that because of the Britishers, the English education started in our India. Along with the spread of English education, there was a spread of new thoughts, new ideas, and new philosophy. Indians were also introduced the Western thoughts and culture. Due to it, there were changes in social, religious, economic, and cultural aspects of Indian society. Beside that, the modern educated Indians, they also became aware that the back progress of our Indian society was due to the superstitions, casteism means the caste system which we followed, then the old customs, class system, and lack of critical outlook. And now it was necessary to eradicate the flaws and undesirable tendency for the progress of the country, and to create a new society which based on the principles of humanity, equality, and fraternity. And that's why the educated thinkers, they started social awareness through writings to solve the various problems in the society. Students, the intellectual awakening in the contemporary society, it's called the Indian Renaissance, and how it was happened in our country that we have to see in this lesson. So, let us start. Students, in this lesson, we are going to learn about the following points. First one is Brahmo Samaj. Second one is Prarthana Samaj. Third one is Satya Shodhak Samaj. Fourth one is Arya Samaj. Fifth one is Ram Krishna Mission. Sixth one is Emancipation of Women. And seventh one is Religious Reforms. So let us start with the first point, Brahmo Samaj. Let us start with the first point, Brahmo Samaj. In the year 1828, Raja Ram Mohan Roy was one of the social workers in Bengal, and he established the Brahmo Samaj in Bengal. He had studied many languages and many religions. See students, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he was mastered in various languages like Sanskrit, Persian, Arabic, English, Bengali and Hindi. And he studied the different religion also. And through that, he made his ideology, or he developed the ideology which is known as Advait philosophy, means a unique philosophy. And through his Brahmo Samaj, he worked on it. How? See students, there are the different principles of Brahmo Samaj. They are monotheism, caste and class equality, protest against rituals, following the way of prayers. They were the principle of Brahmo Samaj. Monotheism. Monotheism means, mono means one and theism means prayer of God. Monotheism means there is only the one God which we want to pray. Okay, every religion, they are giving the different name to their God, but there is only the one and the same God, or the principle of or the teaching of every religion is same. Okay, then he also opposed the caste system, and he Raja Ram Mohan Roy want class and caste equality, and whatever the rituals which is harmful to the society, for the development of society, to protest against that ritual, it's also one of the principle of Brahmo Samaj. And beside that, following the way of prayers were also one of the principle of Brahmo Samaj. Now, Raja Ram Mohan Roy also opposed the practice of sati, then child marriage, Parda system. Parda system, in Hindi we call it Gungat, or in Marathi we call it Padargini. Okay, so because of these systems, women suffered. The systems were humiliating the women. So he opposed these systems. Raja Ram Mohan Roy also promoted widow remarriage and female education. And for that, he founded the Hindu College in Kolkata. He also created the public awareness through his newspaper, which was named as Samvad Kaumudi. See, through his newspaper Samvad Kaumudi, he aware the peoples for emancipation of women. So, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, through his Brahmo Samaj, he started to done the religious and social reforms. Now students, next point is Pratna Samaj. Firstly, we have to see what was the background behind the foundation of Pratna Samaj. Dadoba Panduranga Tarkhadkar, one of the social worker in our Maharashtra, he established Paramhans Sabha in 1848 in Mumbai. Later, that Paramhans Sabha was dissolved and some of its members, they founded the Pratna Samaj. Dadoba's brother, Dr. Atmaram Panduranga Tarkhadkar, he was the first president of Pratna Samaj. Means actually he was a founder of Pratna Samaj. And the prestige of this institution increased day by day. Besides that, due to the enrollment of young graduates from Mumbai University, the prestige of this institution increased. Then Jas Ranade, Dr. R.G. Bhandarkar, they also carried forward the work of Pratna Samaj. Now, the principles of Pratna Samaj. Firstly, Pratna Samaj opposed the idol worship. Idol worship means the worship of statues. And Pratna Samaj supported monotheism like Brahmo Samaj. Pratna Samaj also supported monotheism, means there is only the one God. Then Pratna Samaj also opposed the rituals which is endangered for the development of the society. Okay, these were the principles of Pratna Samaj. Opposition to idol worship, monotheism, opposition to rituals. These were the principles of Pratna Samaj. Now students, Pratna Samaj, they also trust on the devotion and prayer. Pratna Samaj also started the orphanage for women and also work for women's education, and they started the night schools for workers and society for Dalits. Okay. Then one of the member of Pratna Samaj, Maharshi Vittal Ramji Shinde, okay, he established the depressed class mission, and through his mission, he attempted to solve the social problems or social issues. So these all about the work of Pratna Samaj. Now students, the next organization is Satya Shodhak Samaj. Satya Shodhak Samaj. See students, Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, a well-known person, everyone knew about him. So that Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, he started Satya Shodhak Samaj in the year 1873. What is the meaning of Satya Shodhak Samaj? Satya means truth, Shodhak means to find out. For finding the truth, he actually started or he established that organization in the year 1873. Now, Satya Shodhak Samaj worked on the principle of foundation of society on the basis of equality. See students, Satya Shodhak Samaj mainly worked on the principle of foundation of society on the basis of equality. And they protested against untouchability. Okay, untouchability, it was one of the custom. During the medieval period, it was followed in our India. Men should not touch the scheduled caste or lower caste people. And against them, Satya Shodhak Samaj or Mahatma Phule worked, because it was actually the humiliating treatment for the scheduled caste people. And they also advocated the education among the depressed classes and women. Then Mahatma Phule reforms the society through the medium of different books. He wrote the different books. Name of that books were Brahmananchi Kasak, then गुलामगिरी, then शेतकऱ्यांचा आसूड, सार्वजनिक सत्य धर्म. So like through these books, he worked on the different issues, or he introduced the different issues of the different peoples like women's, then scheduled caste peoples, then the farmers, like that. Then he severely criticized the traditions and customs that made the discrimination between man and woman, or rather human being himself. So like that way, Satyashodak Samaj worked. Now students, the next point is Arya Samaj. Swami Dayananda Saraswati. He founded the Arya Samaj in the year 1875. Swami Dayananda Saraswati wrote the book named Satyartha Prakash, where he commentary on Vedas. Vedas belong to the Vedic literature. And he believed that ancient Vedic religion is a true religion which has no place of casteism. And that's why he asserted that there should be gender equality. Go back to the Vedas was the slogan of Arya Samaj. Back to the Vedas was the slogan of Arya Samaj, which was given by the Swami Dayananda Saraswati. Then the branches of that Arya Samaj were opened all over the India. Many education institutions were established through the medium of Arya Samaj. Now students, the next point is Ramakrishna Mission. Ramakrishna Mission was established by Swami Vivekananda in the year 1897. Swami Vivekananda, he was a close disciple of Ramakrishna Paramhans. Disciple means Shishya. Swami Vivekananda, he was a disciple of Ramakrishna Paramhans, and under his influence, Swami Vivekananda established Ramakrishna Mission. Then Ramakrishna Mission worked for service to the society. How? See, this mission worked for providing help to the famine-stricken people, then patients who suffer the different diseases, medical help to the poor, and female education and spiritual growth. Swami Vivekananda was an excellent orator, speaker. He attended the Parliament of Religion at Chicago in 1893.
Okay students, you have now seen the video explanation. Now let me give you a recap of what we have learned today. Firstly, the Brahmo Samaj. It was established by Rajaram Mohan Roy. Rajaram Mohan Roy was born on 22nd May 1772 and he died on 27th September 1883. Alright. He opposed Sati practice. As you can see in the picture, this is the picture of what is the practice going on. Basically, the lady had to jump in the live fire of her dead husband, because this is what was the custom going on during that time. When the husband had died, the society wanted her also to jump into the fire and die along with him. They did not want to take the burden of, even the family members did not want to take the burden of the daughter-in-law. They wanted her also to die along and go and take care of the husband in heaven. Secondly, the next thing what he opposed was child marriage. Here you can see this is even happening today, children. It is a very sad state where even small children are being married off. Sometimes even when they are just born or so, the setting has been done of the marriage ties, which is very bad. You cannot do this. It's a sin, firstly, and it's against the Constitution of India. This is a recent picture where a boy was married off with a very small girl. Small girl means even 10 years, 12 years, even 5 years also are being married. So this should not happen. Third one is a parda system. Parda system means where the lady puts a parda, dupatta or the sari over her head. This was considered very bad according to Raja Ram Mohan Roy, because it shows that women are different. They should not be accepted in society. And second, lastly, he founded the Hindu College in Calcutta. Now that college name is called Presidency College. Okay, it's called Presidency College. I will show you a video on it. Watch closely. This is the Presidency College. Okay, it's a very majestic college, very beautiful college. One day I hope one of you or some of you will join this college. Yeah, Presidency College. It has a big campus. It's a very beautiful college. Alright. And let's go to the next Samaj. Call us Pratna Samaj. Pratna Samaj. Dadobhai Pandurang Tadkarkar established Paramahansa Sabha in Mumbai in 1848. Why am I telling you about Dadobhai Pandurang? Because that is the background I'm going to give you to what will lead to Pratna Samaj. This is the picture, original picture of Dadobhai Pandurang. Alright. Now his brother, Dadobhai's brother, that is Dr. Atmaram Pandurang. This is the real photo of Dr. Atmaram Pandurang. He was the first president of Pratna Samaj. Now what are the principles of the Pratna Samaj? Opposition to idol worship. Means statues, do not worship statues. Worship to God directly. Do not bow before images and statues. Now also you see people bowing before stones, trees, statues. This all is idol worship. Then monotheism. Monotheism means belief that there is only one God. You should believe that there is only one God, not multiple gods. And he opposed rituals. Secondly, he focused on devotion and prayers and reforming the society. Lastly, he started the orphanage, women's education institutes, night schools for workers, and society for Dalits. Night school for workers means, see, you know, workers, they are doing the work during the daytime, right? So they don't have time to get educated. So especially for them, he built schools for them for night. Even now there are some schools, children, where workers can attend and working people can attend these schools at night and get educated. Next we go to Satya Shodak Samaj. Now you all know about Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. Yes, right? Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, or he's called Jyotiba. He started the Satya Shodak Samaj in 1873. He protested along with his wife. Both of them protested against untouchability. That means did not want untouchability. Means there are certain sections, the lower section of the society, they were not allowed to come into the colony. They were always considered as untouchables. The sweepers, the cleaners, they were not allowed even in temples. They were not allowed to come into temples. Whenever they had to come in the city or town or village, they had to make a noise or ring a bell. Then people know that they are coming inside. So then people have to go away and don't come near them. This is very bad, children. This should not be done. Then they encouraged education amongst the depressed classes and especially women. He wrote books like ब्राह्मणाचे कसब, गुलामगिरी, शेतकऱ्यांचे असूद, सार्वजनिक सत्य धर्म. Here you can see the book Gulamgiri and शेतकऱ्यांचे असूद. These are one of the two pictures of those books. Now he was born on 11th April 1827 and died on 28th November 1890. Let's go to the next one. Arya Samaj. Now, Arya Samaj was founded by Swami Dayanand Saraswati in 1875. This is a picture of Swami Dayanand Saraswati, real picture. Okay. He wrote the book Satyarth Prakash. This is a picture of the book Satyarth Prakash. Ancient Vedic religion is true religion which has no place for casteism. He believed in ancient Vedic religion. All Vedas. He believed in the Vedas. And he wanted people to also believe and go back to the Vedas. Because he believed that that is the true religion. And he firmly believed that there should be gender equality. Male and female should be equal. There should be no discrimination between males and females. Both are equal because all are created by God and both have equal rights. This is what he believed. Now we go to the next one is Ramakrishna Mission. Ramakrishna Mission was established by Swami Vivekananda in 1897 in Howrah, Kolkata. This is a real picture of Swami Vivekananda. He was a disciple of Ramakrishna Paramahansa. The real picture of Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Now they started providing help for the famine-stricken people. People who are whose lands are not having water, whose lands are having problem, and patients, medical help to the poor. They gave medical help to poor people. Female education they gave to the female people and the ladies, girls education and spiritual growth. Now I am going to show you a video on Belur Math. What is Belur Math? Belur Math is the headquarters of Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission. Yes, there is a place called as Belur Math and it was founded by Swami Vivekananda.
बेलूर मठ हावड़ा जिले में गंगा के पश्चिमी किनारे पर 40 एकड़ में फैला हुआ है। अलग अलग धर्मों को मानने वाले लोगों के लिए एक महान तीर्थ है बेलूर मठ। जिन लोगों की किसी भी धर्म में कोई रुचि नहीं है वे भी आध्यात्मिक शांति के लिए बेलूर मठ आते हैं। बेलूर मठ में स्वामी विवेकानंद ने अपने जीवन के अंतिम दिन गुजारे थे। विवेकानंद इसी मठ भूमि में 1898 में श्री रामकृष्ण देव परमहंस के पवित्र अस्थि कलश अपने कंधे पर उठा कर लाए थे और पूजा वेदी स्थापित की थी। गंगा तट पर बने बेलूर मठ परिसर में श्री रामकृष्ण देव, मां शारदा देवी और विवेकानंद के मंदिर हैं, जहां उनकी अस्थियां रखी गई हैं। स्वामी विवेकानंद और श्री रामकृष्ण देव के अन्य शिष्य भी यहाँ रहे थे। मां शारदा देवी भी खुद यहाँ कई बार आई थी। जिस कमरे में स्वामी विवेकानंद ने महासमाधि ली थी वो कमरा आज यहाँ आने वालों के लिए आकर्षण का केंद्र है। रामकृष्ण मठ और रामकृष्ण मिशन का मुख्यालय भी यहीं पर है। एक विश्वविद्यालय, एक डिग्री कॉलेज, एक पॉलिटेक्निक और कई एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट बेलूर मठ के पास ही बने कैंपस में चलते हैं। संन्यास लेने से पहले स्वामी विवेकानंद का नाम नरेंद्र नाथ दत्त था। उनका जन्म कोलकाता के समृद्ध परिवार में 12 जनवरी 1863 को हुआ। नरेंद्र नाथ 16 साल की उम्र में कॉलेज के दौरान रामकृष्ण परमहंस के संपर्क में आए। श्री रामकृष्ण की महासमाधि के बाद विवेकानंद ने सन्यासी के तौर पर पूरे देश की यात्रा की। विवेकानंद 1893 में अमेरिका चले गए और वहां 11 सितंबर से 27 सितंबर तक शिकागो में धर्म महासभा में अपना मशहूर भाषण दिया। अमेरिका और इंग्लैंड में 3.5 साल तक भारत के प्राचीन आध्यात्मिक ज्ञान का प्रचार प्रसार करने के बाद 1897 में भारत वापस आए। भारत वापस आते ही विवेकानंद ने रामकृष्ण मिशन की स्थापना की, जहां 4 जुलाई 1902 को स्वामी विवेकानंद का निधन यही बेलूर मठ में हो गया। रामकृष्ण मठ की शुरुआत श्री रामकृष्ण के सन्यासी शिष्यों ने 1886 में वराहनगर कोलकाता के एक पुराने घर से की थी। 1891 में मठ को आलम बाजार के एक दूसरे मकान में शिफ्ट किया गया। रामकृष्ण मिशन रामकृष्ण मठ के एक विशेष सेवा विभाग के तौर पर शुरू हुआ था। रामकृष्ण मठ और रामकृष्ण मिशन का उद्देश्य है आत्मनो मोक्षार्थ जगद्धिताय च, जिसका अर्थ है अपनी मुक्ति और दुनिया के कल्याण के लिए साधन। भारत और पूरी दुनिया में इस समय मठ और मिशन की कुल 194 शाखाएं हैं। मठ और मिशन कुल 14 अस्पताल, 116 क्लिनिक और 57 मोबाइल क्लिनिक चलाता है। बेलूर मठ कैंपस के अंदर कुल 8 मंदिर हैं। पहला है श्री रामकृष्ण मंदिर, जिसे 14 जनवरी 1938 में बनवाया गया था। इस मंदिर में श्री रामकृष्ण परमहंस के पवित्र अवशेष रखा गया है। दूसरा है पुराना मंदिर, जो कि रामकृष्ण देव के मुख्य मंदिर के उत्तर पूर्व में है। ये वही पुराना मंदिर है जहां जनवरी 1891 में नए मंदिर के बनने तक श्री रामकृष्ण देव की रोज पूजा होती थी। स्वामी विवेकानंद और उनके गुरु भाई यहाँ रोज पूजा ध्यान किया करते थे। तीसरा है स्वामी विवेकानंद कक्ष। ये पुराने मंदिर के दक्षिण पूर्व में स्थित है। इसी कमरे में स्वामी विवेकानंद रहा करते थे। यही 4 जुलाई 1902 को स्वामी विवेकानंद ने महासमाधि ली थी। चौथा है स्वामी ब्रह्मानंद मंदिर, जिनका स्थान श्री रामकृष्ण देव के 16 शिष्यों में स्वामी विवेकानंद के ठीक बाद था। वो मठ और मिशन के पहले अध्यक्ष थे। जिस जगह पर स्वामी ब्रह्मानंद का अंतिम संस्कार हुआ वहीं पर ये मंदिर है। मंदिर का निर्माण 1924 में पूरा हुआ था। पांचवा है मां शारदा मंदिर। मां शारदा का मंदिर गंगा के स्नान घाट के पास मौजूद है। इस मंदिर का निर्माण 21 दिसंबर 1921 को पूरा हुआ था। जहां मां शारदा देवी का अंतिम संस्कार हुआ था वहीं पर यह मंदिर बना हुआ है। मां शारदा को गंगा से बहुत लगाव था, इसलिए मंदिर का द्वार गंगा की ओर है। छठा है स्वामी विवेकानंद मंदिर। इस मंदिर का निर्माण 28 जनवरी 1924 को पूरा हुआ। ये मंदिर 2 मंजिला है। ऊपरी मंजिल में संगमरमर से बना ओम का प्रतीक है, जो कि बांग्ला में लिखा हुआ है। ये मंदिर ठीक उसी जगह बना है जहां स्वामी विवेकानंद का अंतिम संस्कार हुआ था। मंदिर के बगल में एक बेल का पेड़ है, जिसके नीचे स्वामी विवेकानंद अक्सर बैठा करते थे। 7वीं है समाधि पीठ। इस जगह पर श्री रामकृष्ण देव के 16 सन्यासी शिष्यों में से 7 शिष्यों का अंतिम संस्कार हुआ था। उन सभी के नाम संगमरमर पर खुदे हुए हैं। 8वां है पुराना मठ। ये गंगा के किनारे बेलूर मठ के दक्षिण में बना है। पहले ये जगह नीलांबर मुखर्जी नाम के एक आदमी की थी, जिस वजह से इसे नीलांबर मुखर्जी गार्डन हाउस के नाम से जाना जाता है। बेलूर मठ तैयार होने से पहले मां शारदा देवी यहाँ कई बार ठहरी थी। अपनी नई जगह पर आने से पहले रामकृष्ण मठ 13 फरवरी 1898 से 1 जनवरी 1899 तक इसी बिल्डिंग में था। इसी कारण लोग इसे पुराना मठ कहते हैं। शाम के वक्त आरती शुरू होने से पहले एक घंटी बजाई जाती है, ताकि लोग आरती के वक्त रामकृष्ण मंदिर के वक्त कहीं और न जाएं।
So students, you have learnt the entire half lesson. I hope you have understood it. Today we learnt about Brahmo Samaj, Pratna Samaj, Satya Shodak Samaj, Arya Samaj and Ramakrishna Mission. Okay, please read the lesson very nicely. Thank you.